Welcome back to Unemployed with Anna Roisman. Guess what? This podcast has never felt so real. I was very unemployed today, but I gave myself a ton of work to do that I don't make money for, but it felt like a work day. Anyway, not to bring us all down, we got an amazing episode for you. Oh my God, we have one of the funniest comedians in New York. I swear, I've seen her perform a lot lately. She's on MTV's Wild and Out. She's got a sick podcast called That Time of the Week podcast. And you know what? She's touring a lot, so she may be coming to a city near you. We've got Maddy Smith with us. Hello.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you for being here, girl. It's good to see you over Zoom.
I know. I haven't done a Zoom podcast in a while. I'm like,
really?
Okay, throwback. Yeah.
I gotta say, you're so brave. I see your videos, you do your podcast in person, and I'm like, wow, you're doing it. That's a real podcast.
I guess so. It's mostly work setting up equipment. It takes so fucking long to set up tripods.
Ugh. You do it at your apartment? You set it up every time?
Every time, yeah.
Nice.
It's a pain. But I guess that's part of being a creative.
That's showbiz, baby. Set up those tripods.
Hey.
I complain every time I have to do a voiceover audition because I have to go in my closet and set up to do that. And then I like to take it down because then I can't get to the things that are hanging in the closet, right?
And you and I are you 30 and up? Are you over 30? I'm
going to say sure, but mentally no. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I just feel like once you're 30, you don't leave stuff lying around like that.
No. You're tidier, especially after a pandemic. I feel like if I have shit out, it's like I've hit rock bottom, right? Like I need my place to be a little clear.
Yeah, it pisses me off, actually.
I know, and that's why I'm looking for a 2-bedroom apartment where I can have a closet that's just designated to audio, and I could do this in there. I could do everything in there. Wouldn't that be lovely?
The way to go. That sounds amazing.
That's what you need. Then you could have your setup. All the tripods are set up all the time, and you can close the door.
I know. Unfortunately, I moved into like a really nice apartment, so I'm kind of screwed.
That doesn't sound unfortunate. Did you move recently?
I moved like 2.5 months ago because I went through a breakup. I'm fine, and I live alone for the first time ever.
Oh my God! Congratulations.
Yeah,
she's a free woman. I've heard about the breakup on stage, but I didn't know that this also meant a move as well.
Yeah. Left him, moved into my own place, and now I'm like, I don't need anyone in my life ever.
I love living alone.
It's too risky. I'm like, why? I'm on dates, and I'm like, nope, no. You will not be coming back to my home, my cozy home. I have candlesticks. I'm not adding a man into my life. And then you go to their places, and their interior decor is horrifying.
Yes, yeah. A lot of dark sheets. I feel like men always have really dark sheets. I don't know.
And I hooked up with a rich guy. His like apartment furniture was giving like hotel suite, like box leather.
Yeah.
Huge coffee table books. I'm like, have you ever opened any of those? He's like, nah.
He's like, nah, but I once went to a WeWork and I was like, I like this aesthetic.
Hilarious. That's exactly what it was. His dining room table looked like a WeWork table.
I believe it.
Ridiculous.
How long were you in your relationship for?
3 years.
Wow. And so you lived together?
Yeah, we lived together.
And two of those years were during a global pandemic, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
And in my opinion, I was like, I got to get out of this or else I will be sad forever. You have to like distance from the quarantine. Yeah. So whether that be like your apartment or your boyfriend, like you have to close up that chapter physically, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I commend you for it. I think a lot of people probably don't know what to do with themselves after that kind of time. So
I know.
You did it. You got out. You did it.
Thank you. Yeah, feeling good.
I was once in an 8-year relationship and I then lived alone for the first time after.
Yeah.
And I loved it. I was like, it's nice.
It's such a game changer, especially when you don't have to be like, what are we doing for dinner? It's always we. Get the fuck out of my face. Sorry, I've already sworn so many times.
No, I curse a lot. You're fine.
Okay.
People would laugh. They'd be like, finally, she met someone who can curse.
Yeah, finally.
No, yeah, you're fine. Well, that's great. And obviously, you're doing well. You've been working throughout this whole time, right? Have you?
Trying to,
show?
Yeah.
Yeah? You've been touring a lot. You've been doing a lot of shows.
I've been doing a lot of shows. I guess I'm technically unemployed if you ask anyone who doesn't do comedy.
Sure,
but I would say I'm working, mostly making money on the road now and then filming Wild and Out like every 6 months, which gives me a big chunk of change.
That's great.
And then just like road and stand up, and then occasional, you book an occasional gig that they're like, how's 2000 sound? And you're like, fine.
Yeah, that sounds
like
wonderful.
For an hour of work. So everything adds up in the comedic realm. Yeah,
it does. Well, that's great that you've been able to do that. How long have you been on Wild and Out?
I got on right before the pandemic.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah. I'm eternally grateful. Because I feel like because you were on HQ, right?
Yeah.
I feel like if I didn't book something like that or Wild and Out before the pandemic, it would have been a long road to anything. I don't know. It's a hard go at it.
But that's amazing that you got it. Were you worried like, oh shit, I got this TV show and now the whole world is shutting down? Or like,
I was worried. I literally thought 2020 was going to be I literally thought I was going to be like on every single TV show by the end of 2020. And then during the pandemic, the show got canceled because Nick Cannon had a little bit of a blunder.
I remember, yes.
On a podcast. So that sent me into even more of an existential crisis because by then I hadn't been on enough seasons to be known from Wild and Out, but I had been on enough it was like a weird place. Luckily it came back because he apologized.
That's good.
So now we're cooking.
People just need to apologize.
I know, seriously.
That's great that it came back, though. Yeah, no, Ellen and I were actually laid off very publicly February 14th, 2020. So I thought the year was already a pandemic for me.
Yes. Ellen, you worked at HQ?
Yeah, yes. I produced there.
Okay.
Yeah. We had an early start to the world falling apart.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I remember that because I auditioned and then a week later at HQ, and a week later they announced.
Wait, you auditioned for HQ?
Yeah.
And then they've shut down?
Yeah, I was like, I thought I did pretty well. I guess we'll find out. And then it was good because you're like, I hate when you audition and you did well and you never hear. I was like, oh, cool. Good to know.
I guess it surprised us all. Everyone thought it was kind of like maybe it would end sometime, but then it just stopped suddenly.
And then Matt and I went on air that night and we had a party, which was super fun.
I remember that. That was crazy.
It's funny because the press was wild about that night, but I want to just say for the record, I wasn't drunk. I was just emotional from losing my fucking job that day.
Yeah,
but,
of course.
Whether or not they were wasted. And I was like, I did have one glass of wine like 6 hours before.
If in your defense, I would have been blackout. So don't even worry. It's like Andy Cohen on New Year's. People were like, oh, it's New Year's, bitch. You lost your job, bitch. Like,
also, they were serving him on air. Like,
right.
He's allowed to get drunk. They're giving him drinks and he's holding it on air. It's not like he's like drinking behind the curtain and everyone's like, oh my God, he's going to go on.
No, totally. I agree.
I think it's more fun. I think all TV should be a little more unpredictable like that.
I agree. It's like, I don't know, we're getting a little too structured lately.
Yeah. Yeah. I know. And they're like CNN. And I bet someone at CNN was like, let them have fun.
Right?
Who gives a shit?
Who gives a fucking shit?
Yeah.
So you guys left HQ and then a week later the pandemic happened.
A month. Yeah. It was a month later, but I was already really, I had like really good like sweatsuits ready to go. I was like already staying home a lot.
Definitely.
I'm like, oh, we have to stay home more? Okay, fine.
Oh, everyone else lost their job? Good.
It did feel a little bit like that. Party. It was weird.
Yeah.
But then it came back a little bit. So I've hosted, a bit during the pandemic, but I've mostly been just, it hasn't been regular, I guess. But
yeah, like it went from, nice. Were you doing it every day?
Oh my God, when I was first hired, we were working, I would do 9 shows a week, 8 shows a week.
Yeah.
It was nonstop.
And now it's whenever they call you?
Yeah. Now they only do it once a week now, the app. So they only do it, I guess, Thursday nights, and Matt mostly hosts. Matt Richards. Yeah. So, Ellen doesn't work there, though, anymore, I should say.
No.
We should say that.
They don't want me back.
Whatever. You don't want them.
She got new work. Ellen's a producer. She could do many, many things.
Where do you work now, Ellen?
I work for a creative agency now.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do you like it more?
There are pros and cons to both, I'd say.
A job's a job.
Exactly.
A job.
It's different. She used to have to deal with me live on air when I'm like, I'm going to say something bad tonight.
Yeah. Did you have to be
there
clean
for my
on that?
fuck. She wasn't there. Yeah, you did. I said fuck once, and I thought I lost my job that night. You weren't there for that, Ellen, that night. Oh, it was bad. It wasn't bad, but I literally was like, fuck it. And I threw something and I was like, uh-oh.
Oh my God.
Whoops.
It's hard to stay clean.
You have to stay clean for your show, right?
No, not really. I mean, you have to be you have to keep TV in mind, but you can kind of do whatever you want.
I'm like, do you say fuck a lot on Wild and Out? You're allowed?
I don't think I've ever said it. I think one time I was captain of my team and I told Nick Cannon, I'm going to fuck your team up. But they can just bleep that out and it's funny. But I don't know. You can just say anything. But just knowing it won't make the episode. So it's stupid to say anything.
So you shoot all of them together. You shoot 10 episodes or something and then you're done for a couple months. Holy
30
shit.
30 in 2 weeks, yeah.
30 in 2 weeks?
Yeah, it's insane.
That's like the Olympics.
It's insane. That's why there's you don't have to be clean because you do so many episodes.
Right.
So if you mess up and said something way too dirty, you can just do something new the next day. There's a lot of opportunities.
That's cool.
Yeah.
But also, it's so impressive that you're because it's improvised. If my brain's not good for 2 weeks, I'm not going to write something, I'm not going to write well. I'm not going to perform well. What if it's
insane. By the end,
you have your period.
I know. Luckily, I have an IUD, so I don't have to worry about that at all. I am a robot, but by the end, you can feel exactly. Viacom knows exactly how many episodes they can get out of you because by the end, it's you've been wrung out.
Yeah.
Like a washcloth comedically. No one has any jokes left. Or people are repeating jokes. It's a lot.
But I guess it's smart then to let you rest for a couple months, 6 months, and then they're and we're back. You have 6 months to come up with new shit and come back.
Yeah, and rest and stuff. But every day you're I don't think I can come up with more stuff. And you're okay, that's an angle. And you go up and do it again.
That's why you're on it. They knew you could do it. You're a fucking pro, and I see it on stage camp. Too. You're good. You handle an audience, no matter what comes your way.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that's why. That's what. Also, at the end of the day, about Wild and Out, it doesn't matter if you can just be funny. Mm-hmm. No matter what. Yeah.
Are you having fun touring?
Yeah, it depends on the city.
Oh.
Obviously, going to Austin and DC and Chicago is fun, but Bridgeport, Connecticut, and Long Island and Poughkeepsie aren't as fun. So it's a mix of really cool stuff and ugh.
Yeah. I mean, I think anyone would say that about touring for food. It's DC's better than Poughkeepsie, New York.
Definitely.
I've never really toured. I want to do it. You're inspiring me because
you should. I only recently amped it up and I like being out of New York on the weekends and in New York during the week.
I love that.
Yeah.
I want to do it.
It's too busy on the weekends. There's too much going on. And I also think shows on the weekends piss me off because it's a 9-to-5ers entertainment. I don't like being part of someone's weekend. Shut up. I like a Tuesday night where I can bring my notes and it's a real comedy fan or low stakes energy. I literally hate Saturday night shows.
They're different. City. It's bridge and tunnel night. It's date night.
It's heels. It's suits with no ties. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's too much.
Sunday night is unpredictable, I'll say. Who goes? I would never go out on a Sunday night.
Never. And yet people do.
Yeah, and they drink and and I'm what who one day I will be the Sunday night person who's let's go out. Let's fucking go out on a Sunday.
I know. I'm surprised with people's casualty when it comes to drink. I'm I don't drink that much, maybe. So it's when it's Tuesday night and people are just popping the drinks at the shows, I'm this is crazy to me.
Yeah.
Are you in pain all the time?
I drink on the weekends, but I don't really I was telling Ellen yesterday when we were recording, I'm I'm fine with ginger ale for days on end. And it's my favorite drink.
Mm-hmm. I know. Drinking kind of hurts my body now.
Well, as you get over 30, I will say, it's not the same the next day as it was when you were when I was 25, I could drink a lot and then wake up and have 2 bagels and I'm good to go.
Me too.
Great.
I know. I think for me, it's more of a depression, anxiety thing. You're
no.
What the fuck did you do last night?
Right. Yeah.
Grow up.
Well, I'm glad that you're choosing not drinking than drink, because some people would say it's a depression, anxiety thing. I'm just going to drink and not deal with it.
No, totally. I do fall into when I broke up with my boyfriend, I went into a 2-month kind of like heavy drinking and smoking phase. But then I woke up one day and I was like, okay, I'm done here.
Yeah.
I'm very textbook. I'm very predictable.
That's good.
Yeah.
You did have fun drinks because we follow each other, and I was like, you had all these fun cocktails over the holiday. I was like, you're literally at a party every night. I mean, it looked great, and I was like, I should. And I made a fun cocktail one night while I was stuck at my parents' house. Yeah, with like rosemary in it, like something.
I love that.
Holiday.
Right? I know. I was at my mom's place, and she moved in with her rich boyfriend. So
you said it. You were like were you in an indoor pool?
Yes, they have an indoor pool.
I'm like, you're living the fucking life with your cocktails and your floaties.
It's so insane. I can't even describe how Twilight Zone it is, because I was like lower class, and now this bitch is just like rich. It's so, I guess it's cool though now that I'm 30. I guess it's better than being rich and then not being rich.
And you could appreciate all of this. You're like, you got an indoor pool and these nice drinks. Yeah, that's amazing.
Like scotch. Yes, we were drinking Cosmos, scotch, all sorts of stuff. It was fun.
That's fun. I want to come hang out at your mom's place.
I'll bring you guys. It's like 6 hours away. I'll bring everyone up.
Pool party. Yeah. Bring all the comics and we all make cosmopolitans and we're like, oh,
hilarious.
What a fun time. Well, I love to take it back. I want to talk about teenage Maddy. What was like the first job that you ever had?
Okay, very first job was cleaning my grandma's house. For money.
This was a paid job.
For money, yeah. $25 a week, which at the time I was like, wow.
Yeah.
It was
that
once
was
a week.
Lot. I would get $20 to go to the mall, and I'm like, wow.
Yeah. Oh my God, I can buy so much stuff at Claire's.
Mm-hmm.
So that was my very first job. I fucking hated it. I actually got fired. Can you believe that? I went in one day.
My grandma
you? She was like, so I think with the school year starting, we can go separate ways. I was like, just tell me that I did a bad job though. I was like, like the first week at a job, you like crush it, everything. So, and then with each week you do less and less until you're just doing like a Clorox wipe. And I was like, she's old, she won't notice. And then I got fired. So
I love that she came at you with this professional, conversation though. It was like, we're going to go separate ways.
I was like, and then I called my dad. I was like, I think Grandma just fired me. He was like, okay, I'm coming over. It was so dramatic. I was like, do I even get a severance? Like, what's going on here?
Yeah, what the fuck? I mean, I think you should, being related, I think there should be a severance there.
I agree. I know. So that was my very, very first job. But my first, paid job was being a soccer referee.
Oh, nice.
Mm-hmm.
Were you a soccer player as a kid?
Yeah, I played soccer. And I thought like, ooh, ref, it is probably so easy. And it was actually kind of hard. And I always forgot to pay attention. So I would be like, oh, it's blue. And the kids were like 7 to 8. Okay. And they were like, ref, it's red. And I'd be like, it's red, right? And the parents would be like, come on, ref. They would call me ref. That was the most humiliating.
How old were you?
I think I was 16. 16, maybe 7. It was humiliating. Having parents yell at you. Yeah. Sucks. You're like, this is like a game. It wasn't even like a tryout-based team. Like, everyone gets on it was a league where everyone gets in. It was like one of those like $100 leagues that your parents put you in over the summer. And they were so mean to me. I live in a town. I'm from a town where parents are mean.
Where did you grow up?
Outside of Buffalo, in like the wealthiest town outside of Buffalo. So the parents were like super bougie, super mean, super white, and we're just like mean.
They have to have expectations when the ref is a 16-year-old girl in high school.
Yeah.
It's like who's thinking about like other things than the game right now. Like,
or like so tired because you stayed up all night in your friend's basement doing who knows, not even drinking, just drinking Sprite or something until 7 a.m. and now you're reffing a soccer game. I'm not going to know if it's blue or red. So that was humiliating. And then I think that was like maybe $30 a game.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not bad. How many games a week did you do? I love that you were the ref too, and they called you ref. Like, you're breaking the glass ceiling for women female refs.
I know, right? And there's a reason there's not a lot of us, because we fear people yelling at us. And the kids when kids are yelling at you, you're like, suck my fucking dick. Yeah. Literally suck my dick. Mm-hmm. So, I think I did like 2 a week, maybe 3.
And they were 7 or 8. I when I was a camp counselor, I couldn't handle the young kids.
Dude, it's rough. So that brings me to my next job. I feel like I'm pile driving through these jobs too quick, but I have had so many jobs in my life that...
I know. I wanted to bring something up that I found when I Googled you earlier.
Oh, tell me.
Okay. Let me just brag. She's in Forbes. There's a Forbes article.
Oh my God.
That says 28-year-old Maddy Smith is done with office jobs. Literally pops up when you Google it. When I was like, this is too good to be true.
When that came out, I was like, you could have said 28-year-old Maddy has a unique comedy, like any sort of... Like, all these other bitches got that article, and it was like, oh my God, a trailblazer. Blah, blah, oh my God, this girl's someone you should know. Maddy Smith is done with... Oh my God.
Maddy's was like, fuck health insurance. I don't need an office job.
I know, right? God, I sound like so white. And luckily I didn't have to go back to an office after that came out.
Wait, what?
Luckily I didn't have to go back to an office after that came out. Imagine going back to or interviewing for a job and you pull up... Imagine you're interviewing someone and that's what you find on them and you're like, no, I'm not hiring you. It's not
even like on a blog. It's in Forbes, which is
like... That was a risk.
That was really
risk.
Funny.
I think I said too much in that interview about But at this point, I can just accept that no office would ever hire me. Not even aside from that article, just like everything I've said online and on podcasts and even on Wild and Out, I would set on fire if I walked into an office building.
I mean, my last office job sparked my unemployed career, brand. So I don't think they're going to hire me at an office either.
Yeah,
but
it's over. But in that article, you saw...
Oh, I was just saying the title of it cracked me up. I mean, I thought it was the funniest thing in the world that pops up. Literally, it's like you're comedian, you're touring, your website, and then it's like, and she's fucking done with an office job, so don't even try to get her.
Don't even try, bitch. Yeah, so that was, I think when I interviewed for that, I had just booked Wild and Out, or I just finished a season or something. So I got all those. I quit my last office job when I went to go to do Wild and Out.
Makes sense.
And so started as cleaning my grandma's house.
Okay.
And ended in finance at a job at a firm called Neuberger Berman. Huge like asset management firm. And it was like the worst 2 years of my life. Doing like working a 9 to 5 and doing stand up at night is literally the 8th circle in Dante's Inferno.
Yes. I did it for a while. It's hard. It's
hard. Did you have to wear the clothes?
What clothes?
Like the business clothes?
I did, but once they realized I liked clothes, I started just dressing like me and like I look back at outfits I wore in my office and I'm like, I can't believe they let me wear a short denim mini skirt with high platform sneakers. Like I looked like a Spice Girl half the time.
Yes.
Like there are photos of me.
What was your job?
I was an assistant and an office manager at a venture capital firm for 4 years.
So I was similar, but I was like a project administrative coordinator or something like that.
Fancy. That sounds fancier than assistant.
It's the same. You're just booking people's travel, writing off their expenses, calling them saying, oh, why did you buy this? Oh, sorry, you can put that on my personal. Whoa. So like the most humiliating. And they didn't know I did comedy. So.
Oh, they didn't? For 2 years?
2 years. I had to keep my shit under wraps. It was the sort of thing where I decided at the beginning, I will not speak at all because if I speak at all, they will ask me more about my life. Yeah. So if I set a precedent of I'm not going to even share anything, they're not even going to dive in.
Wow.
Whereas
I love it. That's like a challenge for yourself, especially as like a comic who likes to talk and be social.
I love that challenge. It's so smart though, because you're right. Like as soon as you let them know a little bit, they're going to want more.
That's true. There was one day I said something too funny and they were like, Maddy is just she doesn't talk a lot, but when she does, it's sarcastic and so, and I was like, okay, now I need to talk even less. I had to try to not be funny because I didn't want them to know anything about me, and it worked. I was first of all, I was hurt that no one had ever looked me up because it would take one Instagram search to know that I literally do stand up none of those motherfuckers ever looked me up. That's how little respect I got in that office.
Holy shit. I can't believe, even at a temp job, the person looked me up and they were like, what do you think you're doing here? And I was like,
right.
Nothing.
I think I also purposefully dressed so frumpy and I was not cool at all. I made myself so uninteresting that they didn't even notice when I
You like
wasn't
played a
there.
character. I feel like you went in like, because it's not you. You went in like this other, you're like, and now I'm corporate Maddy and no one, did you tell them your real name? Did you like make up a name?
I told them I was Maddy, but my email signature said Madeline and they never changed that. My email was Madeline, so I don't think they would even know, like they probably spelled it Maddie. Like they probably wouldn't even know. Smart.
Because you go by Maddy professionally as a comedian. She's a Madeline in the corporate world, though.
Yeah. And I have a friend, Maggie Lally. I don't know if you know her. I think she goes by Mary when she interviews for jobs.
That's so smart. You're making me want to like Josie Grossi, you know, like going back to high school. You're making me want to like apply for a job with like a completely fake resume with a different name. Ellen, I should do this as like an experiment for the podcast. And I'm like,
that's a bit. Yeah.
To the point where I get a Zoom, I at least should get a Zoom interview, right? And just be like, I'm Ashley.
It'd be a fun day. It's good character work too.
Yeah.
That's why you're on Wild 'N Out. She improvised that character fucking for 2 years straight. You were like, I'm a shy girl from
literally did.
Buffalo.
They'd be like, how was your weekend? After I did like 19 shows in a weekend. Or like the worst was when I used to do a lot of roast battles. So I would spend Thursday night until 2 a.m. calling people small dick, slut, fat, whores. And then it's 8 a.m. How was your night? Oh, good. Nothing crazy. Stayed in.
Ate a sandwich.
So weird. It was so weird.
I honestly, I applaud you. That's amazing that you did that for that long.
Thank you.
Well, how did it end?
Well, I auditioned for Wild 'N Out, and then Wild 'N Out said, we're going to fly you down to Atlanta for a week of like more auditioning. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to quit and run with this. And if I don't get it, I'll go back to I'll go back to any job. Because any like woman in New York can get any sort of those jobs. You can go to a recruiter and be like, hi, I want to be at NVIN. Okay, cool. Right. Here's a job. You can have it today.
Right.
So I think I was like, let's just do it. And I told one person at my job, he was like kind of like a dad and was very accessible and always nice. I was like, hey, this is the reason I've been really tired all the time. It's not me. I was like, yeah, I do comedy and I'm leaving to do more comedy. And now he texts me every so often. He's like, wow, just saw this, or like just stumbled upon this.
Oh, that's nice.
So yeah, it was like fun to like let the secret out.
I like that. It's funny. I think back, I'm like, should I have done that? But in my interviews, I was like, I do comedy, I act. Right. Sometimes I might have to leave for an audition. I wanted to be like upfront because I was like, please know this is my life. But of course, you know, then I lied for the next 4 years whenever I had an audition. I was like, I have therapy.
No, totally.
I'm so sorry I have to go. But they knew. No. And I also made a lot of videos, so they knew that.
Yes.
But it actually worked in my favor because they like had tech companies, and so I got to like produce videos for some of their tech companies, and I was like, this is cool.
Yeah, mine was very cut and dry, like old school finance. Yeah. Suits every day. So I think they wouldn't hire me if I told them that. Right. Yeah. Because it would be like, is she going to be tired? Is something unprofessional about her going to come out? Like all sorts of stuff.
I love that. I hope they all see you on TV now at some point.
I know,
and
right?
They're like, is that... Wait a minute.
I know. Actually, a couple of them are still in my DM request. You know, like the request part of Instagram. A couple of them are in there. Like, hey, I was at Newburger. Like, can't wait to see. I'm not responding to this. If you come to a show and say hi, I will speak to you. But I'm not DMing. Yeah. I'm not DMing back. No, we're not doing this.
Yeah. Well, I hope they come to a show of yours because you're very fun. They're gonna think you're even funny. If they thought you were that dry and shy, they're gonna be like, holy shit.
Holy shit. Well, I also had a huge fear of like walking into like New York or Comedy Club or Gotham and seeing.
And they're there.
Because they're the type of people who go to those shows. It's fun. Yeah. And they take their clients to stuff like that too. And I remember one time I was processing like an expense report and one of them was like Gotham Comedy Club. And I was like, oh my God. And like Catherine Cohen was on it and like Chris Redd. And I was like, I can't. My worlds are colliding.
That's funny. I was worried when I right before I booked HQ, Ellen, you know this, I temped at this awful private equity firm, and they wanted me to work there full time. And I was like, I'm just a temp. And I like really stuck to it. And they paid okay, but they were awful people. But I kid you not, I worked for a woman. I used to talk about it a lot on stage. I worked for a woman named Anne Frank, and I thought it was just the funniest fucking thing in the world. And I was like, I'm going to talk about this on stage. And she like was the type of person who I think would maybe show up. You know, she knew I did comedy. I didn't like talk much about it, but I think at one point, I was like, she's like, oh, well, my husband and I, you know, we go to theater, and I was just, maybe we'll come to a show. And so on all my shows, I'd be like, is Anne Frank here?
Oh my God.
I'm going to talk about her. Is she here? Are you here?
Is she hiding?
She's hiding.
That's great. Yeah, it's so awkward. You're just like, I'm trying to make money. I will say though, at the finance places, it's hard to leave when you get a bonus and
you get a bonus, you get lunch, you get all the perks, you get great benefits.
If I didn't do comedy, I would probably just work in finance.
Yeah.
Like an easy finance job. I wouldn't try to climb to the top, but I would just like do like an easy.
My parents used to bet. They're like, "Are you interested? Is working at this firm making you interested in venture capital?" I'm like, "No."
I know my mom used to be like, "Maybe, you know, you get your what are the tests they take? CS something?
I don't know.
CR. There's some sort of test to like become like an analyst." She's like, "Maybe the exposure, and you'll learn that you love." Finance and mutual funds. You know, they're always trying to veer. Or my mom would be like, you never know. Maybe you'll meet a really nice guy.
Yeah.
At Newburger. They like, my mom wanted me so bad to like find a non. Now I'm fine because I'm like doing well. But before then, she was like, anything other than this thing that's making you so tired.
You're like, nah, I'd rather talk about dicks on stage. But thank you for your input.
Thanks, bitch.
Aw. Okay, so wait, we got on our finance kick. What did you do before you got into this finance job? You said after the referee. Did you work in college or?
I did work in college. Oh my God, I've had so many jobs in my life. I'm only remembering, I only just remembered the ref thing now. In college, I did work study. That was pretty boring. I was just like doing like random stuff for a professor. And then I also was the editor of our college newspaper that I got paid for.
Nice.
Yeah, that was
a
like
young
a
writer. That's good.
Yeah, I thought I wanted to go into journalism, and then I saw all my friends become like interns at Mashable, and I was like, I'm good. I can't do this. You know, we all think we're like the next Atlantic writer.
Sure.
And then you see your friends write listicles, and you're like, I think I am good.
Wow.
I think I'm good on that. But my first job out of college, I worked at a food bank in Rochester, which is near Buffalo, selling fruits and vegetables to like underserved communities in the area.
That's nice.
It was nice. It was a lot of work. It's really hard to sell people healthy food.
I bet. I mean,
very idealistic.
Yeah. How did you want to do this job? How did you like fall into that?
Yeah, when I was in college, I majored in econ, and then I wanted to go into like food justice. I feel like I was in college until 2014, and I feel like local food justice, food desert was like a trendy, not that, you know, like socioeconomic issues are trendy, but.
Right, but it was a woke time for like to be in college and to be, I don't know, like.
It was.
Figuring out, I hate using that word, but you know what I mean. It was like.
Yes.
You didn't need a traditional major. You wanted to do something like, you want to be different. I'm not like other girls.
I'm not like other girls. I sell fruit. So,
absolutely.
So I wanted to go into this like whole like food desert, public health thing. So I got this job where it wasn't like food drive stuff. It was like the food bank would buy huge amounts of fruits and vegetables locally, wholesale, and they would sell them to people just at like a super low cost. So it was like about like empowerment.
Sure.
And like they could use like their EBT. So I spent like all that time helping people with like these farm stands and like this truck that would drive around called the Curbside Market. We had fruits and vegetables on it. We would like take it out in the snow and during the summer and sell the stuff. And then I would do like little cooking demonstrations at the truck, show people how to cut butternut squash and stuff like that.
Nice.
Yeah,
So it's like a
it was actually
bougie.
pretty fun.
I mean, it sounds lovely. What?
Yeah.
You know, for a gig. Were you performing at this time? Were you like doing comedy?
No, I started when I moved to New York, so that was 6 years ago. So this
Okay.
was just for the year after college. So this was 2014 to 2015.
Okay.
So I wasn't performing, but I wanted to go to an open mic in Rochester. But the problem with small cities like Rochester is when you're someone in your 20s, you know everyone else in their 20s there because it's such a small city. And I was like, if I go and I do well, everyone's going to, even people at my job are going to know. So I didn't start till I moved to New York because I was like, when I moved to New York, I was like, okay, now I'm anonymous.
Right.
And no one will ever know if I do badly.
Did you want to perform growing up? Like, did you do theater, anything like that?
I was in theater in high school.
Okay.
And I did musical theater, drama club, chorus. I was like a chorus girl.
Hell yeah.
Band, all the music stuff. Mm-hmm. In musical theater, they had this, for the musical, they had something called like the Sausage King and Queen, which like the class clown, and I was the Sausage Queen. I like hosted like the one act variety show, and I know, right? I hosted this variety show, and all the moms were like, "You need to be on stage for the rest of your life." So like I knew like early on that I had, and I was always like the funny one in the friend group.
Yeah.
But I just ignored it for so long out of fear of failure, I think. Like I scheduled like an audition for the improv troupe in college, but I didn't show up because I was too nervous that I would do badly, and it would be like a reflection of my personality.
Aw.
No, it's okay. I think if I wasn't...
It's like, look how far you've come mentally. Like, you were scared to go audition, and now you're on, like, literally, like, one of the biggest improv, you know, on-camera shows.
Isn't that crazy? Yeah. I'm actually thankful I didn't, because I feel like... did you do improv in college?
I didn't do improv in college. I did it at UCB when I first moved to New York.
Okay.
I did theater in college. Like, not as a major.
Okay, just, like, extracurricular?
Like, yeah, the musical and stuff I would do.
I feel like people who do improv in college don't end up well. They have they're like big fish in a little pond. Yeah. And they have a hard time transitioning because they're like, I was the funniest in my I led my whatever my group's name was. Yeah. I led the Dirty Blankets, you know? And like
I will say I saw improv in college, and there were some guys who did improv at my school. I went to school in Boston, and they all booked late night shows like as writers. Really? And I was like, wow, they did it. Yeah.
Where did you go to school? Boston University or Boston College?
BU.
BU?
Yeah.
I think my school was just like too unknown.
Where'd you go?
SUNY Geneseo. It's one of the SUNY, like a liberal arts school near Rochester. Yeah. But when I went to that school, that when you start going there, they're like, this is a name school. Like you will get and you go to your first job interview, and they're like, so what's Geneseo? And you're like, oh, I got screwed. So I feel like Boston probably has like a connection, like an alumni connection. That
probably, but you know
also
what?
they were probably just good.
When you said that about improv troops, my brain went to, you know who else? I don't know that they ended up so well. The acapella groups.
I was gonna say that. I was literally gonna finish your sentence. I agree. Yeah. Because they're king of the fucking castle. Yes. And then they get out and they're like, oh, I'm not in pentatonics. I'm gonna kill myself. That's what happened.
I sang, and I was like, I don't want to do acapella. I don't want to do like bum 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 on every song. I was like,
another thing I auditioned for and didn't get, and to this day I'm thankful that I did not get into Hips and Harmony. I'm so thankful. Because then I ended up doing the newspaper, and we just made fun of everyone on campus, and it just made me so much more snarky.
Nice.
We made fun of everyone. That's why you're a comedian.
You wanted to write about it. You were like, I don't need to get on a stage and like fucking badmouth these people. No. Let's just put it in print.
Yes, exactly. I like being part of like snarky groups. Like acapella was a little too serious, like serious, fun, like gay in a happy happy way. You know, like same with like the improv. I feel like a lot of people in my improv in college ended up as like Christian adults. Oh, okay. They veered Christian. I also remember going to an improv show, and one guy did like a Chinese impression for like the entire show. Oh no! And the audience lost their shit.
They loved it.
They loved it.
Poor this guy.
He murdered.
Oh, yeah,
crazy.
God. Wow. Hopefully no one filmed it, because he's done now.
He's done. Now you can't say anything.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah, so back to your question. I wasn't performing in Rochester yet. I was performing through my cooking demonstrations, though.
Very fun. I know you're like the Rachel Ray of town, it sounds like.
It was horrible.
Do you like to cook?
Yeah, I'm good at vegetables just because they're so easy. I don't like cooking meat. I don't like touching meat.
Okay.
I like to cook. I didn't really love the demonstrations. There was like a lot of stuff to carry for people who weren't even going to watch.
You had to carry everything.
I had to carry this huge thing, and like showing people how to cut a butternut squash is humiliating because it's so hard to do. And while you're doing it, you have to be like, it's so healthy. And you have like the knife is stuck, and you're like, it is so easy. Yeah. And it's like, you're like, just one more little. And what helps is actually heating up it in the microwave for 10 minutes. And they're like, we don't have a microwave. And you're like, no problem. It was like...
You see the sun?
Yeah, just leave it out. Because our squashes are so abundant in upstate New York. So the agency was like obsessed with pushing squash. Because a lot of the people that we served were like obsessed with sweet potatoes. So I would try to sell them butternut squash as an alternative. Mm-hmm. And it was so embarrassing trying to peel that in front of people. People who were literally would only buy iceberg lettuce and apples. They didn't want any of the other shit we were offering.
I'm laughing so hard too because I make soups. I don't know if you know I'm a soup queen and it's a passion. And I've been trying to ASMR my videos and I was trying to slice a butternut squash. My knife kept getting stuck. There's like half a second of like a slice, but then it was like stuck, so I couldn't do it. And I was like, fuck this vegetable. I'm not going to film it anymore.
It sucks because they're so good, but I look at them in the grocery store and I'm like, I know.
Yeah. So much effort to peel.
I know. I look at them in the store and I'm like, I can't this week. I'm tired.
Yeah. It's okay. No,
it's okay.
Yeah, it's totally fine. And
spaghetti squash is easy.
I don't like spaghetti squash. It hurts. It hurt my stomach once, and I never went.
Really? I know, and it's also like, if you have spaghetti squash with like only marinara, like you will be hungry 10 minutes later.
Yeah, it's like water.
Just eat spaghetti. It's really filling. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Our society is crumbling when it comes to food.
Are there any other jobs that you had that you're like, that was a bad time or a good time?
I have one more crazy job. Okay. Between the fruits and vegetables job and the finance job, this is my last job. So I left the fruits and vegetables job. I thought I was going to work there like forever. But then I got a call from my college and they were like, we have a warehouse space in Red Hook, Brooklyn. Okay. And we need someone to move down there and help us start the program. So long story short, you guys ever been to Red Hook?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like the Fairway building and all those like buildings. So
isn't there an IKEA down in Red Hook too?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So there's all these like waterfront buildings, and an alum of my college, a 70-plus-year-old man, owns all those buildings.
Whoa.
He bought them like in the 80s for like no money, like $300,000 for all of them.
Wow.
And so he's like famous in Brooklyn. And so he's an alum, and he's like, and they were like, we want to develop our relationship with Greg O'Connell, and we want you to move down there and study Red Hook and build relationships. I was like, first of all, I'm 23. Like, this is someone with like a PhD in like community, blah, blah, blah.
But they chose you.
Yeah, because they could pay me nothing, and I don't know, it was so weird. So they sent me down to Red Hook, Brooklyn to like this, we had like a single warehouse. They made it sound like it was like a loft above Fairway that was like finished and furnished, and it wasn't. It was like a basement that the building had been flooded by Sandy in 2012.
Oh, no.
And I moved down there in 2015, and you could feel like the warmth of an old flood.
And they were like, here, live in this abandoned warehouse.
I didn't live there, but I was supposed to like blueprint it out.
Oh.
And like, but there was no fixing this room. When I tell you, it was so it was like a basement. It was so bad. And they wanted me to like explore ways that professors could come down and conduct their urban studies research, and students would come down. But what the people at the college didn't know was that Red Hook is not a normal Brooklyn. They were picturing like brownstones and the subway. Right. And they're like, oh, a mile's not that far to walk to the train. Yeah, it is.
It's so hard to get to. It's like in the middle
so
of nowhere.
hard.
You said it, and Ellen and I live in Brooklyn, and I was like, oh, where IKEA is. Like, that's literally where my brain went. There are some cool restaurants now. I think it's a little bougier now than it ever was.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Even then, you're like, we should not be bringing students down here. So I spent 2 years in that job. I knew within a month that it was a no-go.
Yeah.
But I was like, all right, let's see what we can milk out of this. And then I started comedy. I moved there in July 2015, started comedy December 2015. And once I started comedy, I was like, they're not watching what I'm doing. And then the person who wanted me to start the Red Hook program retired, moved to a different college. So then I took back burner for the college for like a year and a half while they worked on hiring a new provost. So, because the interim provost like wasn't gonna fucking mess with Red Hook. He was just like, he kept apologizing to me. He was like, I'm so sorry we haven't been there, Maddie. Like, but I will follow up next week. And I just leaned harder into comedy. So then by the time there was a provost and she was like, we're coming down, I was like, I'm quitting.
Oh my God.
That's awesome. They just kept on paying you to like do nothing.
It was mind blowing. Every day I felt both guilt and like just run with it. I felt like I was gonna get sued and also like, no, just run with it. They are dysfunctional. And the more time that went on, the less I went to that warehouse space, the more I just stayed. They also like put me up in this 4-bedroom apartment that was like, they wanted students to stay in, but then someone came in and the student coordinator stepped in and was like, no, there's no sprinklers, there's no exit signs, there's no wheelchair, all the stuff you need for student safety. There's no RA. I'm not RA certified or whatever. And the neighborhood had wolves running. There's stray dogs in the neighborhood. Like, so like the more they put it off, they had these conversations on the campus while I just sat there and pretended I would like check in every week and be like, hi, I would send them emails being like, hello, to make them think that I was like, what's going on here? Even though I was leaving my house at 2 p.m. to do like 6 open mics and a show.
So you lived in a 4-bedroom apartment. You worked in an empty warehouse.
Yeah.
And you got paid to check in once a week.
If that.
I love this. That's amazing.
And then I think one summer I had 2 professors come stay and I like panicked. Because of course if you're in the 4-bedroom apartment where my shit was everywhere. And this was before I was 30 and neat. There was shit everywhere. There was like clothes all over. So like the day before they came, I stuffed it all in my room and made all of their beds and stuff. And then they still complained about like how I wasn't there enough. And so
you didn't have to pay rent here either?
No.
Holy shit.
It was insane. I can't emphasize how crazy it was.
I know. For anyone listening, this is not a typical, I moved to New York and it was hard for a couple of years.
No. It was great. There was definitely a transition once I had to start paying rent, but that's when I started working in finance, and that's when my money that first paycheck, you're like, oh my God, thank God. Because even when I wasn't paying rent at the apartment, I was fucking like half depressed, half like motivated to do comedy, but also depressed because I didn't know what was happening with my job, and I don't like feeling like a fuck up. So I had to deal with like, they know that I'm dropping the ball, but I also know that there's no ball to drop. Yeah. But also, like, once I got the finance job, I was so thankful for structure. Yeah. And, like, I rode that high for, like, 7 months. I was so glad for, like, expense reports and, like, an office building. Yeah. With elevators.
Were you lonely during that time? Like, it sounds like there was no one really around, right?
During the day, but once I started, like, when I got to my mics, I would see so many people. And then I would go home and sleep till 1. And if they sent me an email, I would respond very professionally and be like, no worries, like, whenever you get the chance. And then I would go out and do it. And I have that to thank for, like, my first 2 years of comedy. I just, like, accelerated so quickly because I was kind of living like a person with rich parents, how they can, like, just excel.
And just do it.
Yeah.
I didn't know this about you. And also, I didn't know you've, have only been here for 5 years. You're a very seasoned comic in my eyes.
Oh,
so
thank you.
I feel like
I think I have those couple years to thank.
Yeah. Well,
Just
see,
because
college came in, it came through. You were like,
Yeah.
I got there and every interview was like a no name. It's like, yeah, well, they helped you in a lot of other ways too.
I know. That's why I feel bad.
Nice.
Because I did end up getting into a couple arguments with the provost at the end. Yeah, I was lashing out a little bit.
I just love that you had this close relationship. Like, if you asked me who the provost was of my college, I would not even be. I was like, maybe I've seen the name written on an email, but like, they were like, you know what? Let's call Maddie. Maddie will run the Red Hook campus. We're good to go.
Weird. It was so bizarre. And
it's so funny.
My mom and I were like, oh my God, this is the opportunity of a lifetime. And like the minute I got down there, I was like, oh, this is bad. And like they wanted like me to like recruit local students to like want to go to Geneseo, but like I would meet with like nonprofits, educational nonprofits, and they'd be like, the average like score is their average GPA at these schools are like 79 and Geneseo has like a 93% and above. It just like wasn't, and no one wants to go 6 miles out of the city. They want to go to like at most Stony Brook.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It was crazy. I felt like such like, what's it called? College on the Hill or whatever. When you're just like, you must come to this liberal arts. They're like, what sort of skills will our students learn? And I'm like, the humanities and Dickens and
the classics. Yeah. I mean, it's funny because you say that and I'm like, wow, when I went to college, I literally was like, is there a Starbucks here? Because I can't be away from places I know, like Starbucks.
I know.
I'm like, I'm not here for any of the right reasons,
I was not at college for the right reasons either. I went to college to black out and party. After my first semester of college, I didn't realize you were supposed to like actually even try in classes. Mm-hmm. Because I just wanted to black out and like fuck dudes.
I literally was on academic probation.
Really? Mm-hmm. No one because we watch all these movies about how fun college is. Mm-mm. And then you're like, yeah, I'm the slut with a 2.6. You're like...
That was me. They were like, I remember I got it. They said, you're on academic probation. And I was like, why? I'm smart. And they're like, well, you missed 9 lectures in this class. And I was like, they were Fridays. I go out Thursdays.
I know. Dude, I was going out Wednesday to Sunday at one point. Luckily, but you know what sucks about that is once you get a low GPA, it takes the next 3 years to bring it up to like a 3.4. That's why I'm like, if you are paying for college, there should be no GPAs. Mm-hmm. It's summer camp for 4 years. The fact that, I mean, I don't have to send out my transcript anymore, but like the fact that I have to show people that I got like under a 3.5 because I fucked up freshman year because no one told me how to have discipline, and I'm $50K in debt, that is inappropriate. Yeah. It should just be degrees.
I completely agree with you. Fuck the GPA thing. My GPA is terrible because of freshman year. And I tried to make it up. Like I had to go in the summer. They weren't going to let me back in the fall, and I had to go in the summer. And I was like good in high school. When I got to college, I was like, I don't care.
I was good in high school too.
I'm here to sing. I'm here to be a fucking actress. But I took acting classes over the summer, and like I just had to like breathe and close my eyes and like lay on a floor for like 6 weeks. And they were like, you got an A, and I was like, oh, okay, good. That'll raise my GPA like 2 points or something.
I know, it's so when you start calculating, it's so annoying. I used to get so pissed. I should have transferred to community college or something. It was a messy 4 years.
Well, then they got you a home in New York, and now you're a successful comedian. So
I know,
I love it.
I can't. You
have a good origin story.
Isn't it crazy?
It's crazy, but I love it.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you did this. It was too good.
I know. I haven't, and now I'm just. I guess when this lifestyle, we just botch stuff together. Yep. So to the guys that I go on dates with, they're like, what do you do during the day? I'm like, shut up. I post on TikTok. Don't even fucking act.
I post.
Don't be rude.
She's good, too. Ellen knows this. My goal of 2021 is, or 2022, Anna's got to blow up on TikTok. It's all...
It's Maddie, the future.
It's all I want right now.
It's the future. Because Instagram is like dead.
Yeah. It is the future. I enjoy TikTok more. I like seeing people's random people's shit. I don't need to see people from high school who had another baby and they're in Italy. I'm like, no, I'd rather see this like fucking stranger in Connecticut show me how to make a meal.
I think it melts your brain though. It hurts my like head after a while.
It does. Yeah, it does.
I don't know. Something about scrolling on TikTok has made me sad lately. Just like,
really?
Like, no. Yeah, I'm just like, if you're doing this, go do something else. Like, if you're doing this, it means you have free time. Go do something else.
Wow. Don't follow me because I'm really going hard right now.
Yeah.
She's going to be like, I can't believe I did her podcast. So get a life, man. Do something with your time.
It's so addictive.
It really is. It is. Well, you're the funniest. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. This was so fun.
So fun. I hope we get to see each other again soon. IRL.
Are you doing that Sunday show every week?
I am right now. Yeah.
Okay. I'm on it in a couple weeks, I think.
Okay, good. Yeah.
I'll probably see you before then.
I hope so. Yeah, I'm trying to do more shows because I don't have a job at night like I used to.
I know.
Which is weird, but we'll chat. Maybe we'll chat because I need to book some more shows. But
let me know.
Tell the people where they can find you, see you, watch you.
Yes.
You post a lot. Your podcast comes out a lot, right?
Yeah, every Monday. Okay. So, that time of the week podcast, and then Maddy Smith on all the medias. I got all my dates and everything up there too, so whatever you guys are into, you'll find there.
Yeah, go see her on tour and watch you on MTV, right?
Yes, that too, if you have it. I don't have cable, so I don't even watch myself. It's kind of a problem.
I do. I'll watch you. I'll invite you over.
Okay.
We'll watch your show sometime.
Yeah, we should. That'd be great.
All right, we'll hang out.
All right.
Cool. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Go follow Maddy Smith. That was such a fun episode. I love Maddy Smith. She's so funny.
She's good. It's nice to hear from another upstate gal.
Oh, yeah. You didn't even say it.
I didn't bring it up. Maybe
you saw a cooking demo. Maybe you went. Maybe you... No?
I didn't really spend that much time in Rochester. But when she said Buffalo, I was like,
ding, ding, ding.
Ding, ding, ding. I'll tell her the next time I see her. When we all hang out to talk about the biz.
I want to hang out with her. I've seen her on all these shows and she's so funny. And I'm like, I like her. I want to be friends with her. Hopefully she'll be friends with me because I'm only 24, and she's over 30. It's wild.
Yeah, I know.
It's wild and out. Oh, that was fun. Wait, so, okay, you guys know that we have been asking you, we've been begging you to fucking call the hotline, leave a voicemail because like it's 1994. Leave a fucking voicemail. Make a phony phone call for all I care. I honestly would probably love it, but we got a voicemail. This is great. And Ellen's played it for me maybe 7 times and I still have no idea if it's real, if it's a recording. So we're going to play it for you guys to hear. Okay, this is what we got on the voicemail.
I'm just saying, if your company has been telling you they're going to promote you for 6 months and they haven't, this is your sign to leave. Bonus points for going back to your pre-pandemic job for more money.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
What is that? Let's break it down.
Okay. It sounds like a pre-recorded thing, but then you were like, I think it's just someone airing out their frustration.
It's someone venting, it sounds like somebody venting, which I really like. I want more people to use the number for that.
I want people to vent like that. But she's giving everyone a sign. Can you play it one more time? I have to hear it one more time.
I'm just saying, if your company has been telling you they're going to promote you for 6 months and they haven't, this is your sign to leave. Bonus points for going back to your pre-pandemic job for more money.
And
yes,
I like what she's saying too.
Yep.
It's powerful.
Because they're fucking, what is it called? They're gaslighting you. If they're telling you they're going to promote you, 6 months go by and you still haven't been promoted. If you tell me you're going to promote me and it's Thursday, it better be there by Monday. You know what I mean? Like it's not, you don't dangle that carrot. Is that what it is? You don't dangle that carrot in front of someone's face and then make them fucking wait 6 months.
It's just such a mysterious call too. It's like, well, what is this pre-pandemic job that was paying you more money? Why did you take this other job that paid you less money? I have so many questions.
I do. And that the only reason I think it's not like a pre-recorded thing is, what did she say in the beginning? She goes,
I'm just saying.
Yeah. Because it would start with if you've been promised a promotion and 6 months go by and you haven't got it, but the I'm just saying is like, hey, bitch, it's me. I'm going on a podcast and I'm gonna fucking rat you out.
Yeah. I don't think it's a robocall. I think it's real. But
robocall. Thank you. That's the word I needed.
Thank you to whoever sent that in. I thought it was very entertaining.
It was very entertaining. And I also hope that, I hope you left that place, or they gave you such a fucking fat promotion that you are just like, you know what? It was worth it to wait 6 months, like that check is just, forget the last 6 months. It's so big that you're like, I'm sorry I ever had a problem. But if not, I hope you left. And obviously you're going to find something else because they were dishonest with you. And no one wants to work for dishonest people. Wait, what was the thing? Going back to your job that pays more money pre-pandemic?
Yeah.
Don't go back to your, she said, don't go back to your job.
She said bonus points for going back to your job that paid more money pre-pandemic.
I mean, we just made it through a pandemic. I say go to whatever fucking job that pays you the most money, that you can tolerate, that you can do, and excel in.
This sounds like a plan. At the end of the day, it's just a job, and go where you're appreciated, go where the money is.
Yeah. I think I need to go back to college and get them to fucking pay for me to live in an empty loft somewhere, 4-bedroom apartment, so I can just focus on comedy and still make a paycheck every week. God damn it, Maddy
amazing.
Smith, living legend, that girl. I mean,
my college has never called me and been like, hey, we want to give you a job.
No, my college calls and says, hey, we want you to donate to this school that costs billions of dollars.
Exactly.
And I'm like, listen, I graduated and I don't make enough money to fucking give you $20 today. So something, I would say that's on you and not me.
Right.
It's not on me. But what a story. I really, some people, it's a cool thing. I love that she's like, it was like rich parents, but it wasn't. It was, they relied on her for a gig, and it was the gig that helped her get to where she is in comedy. So
yes,
take it, run with it.
Take it.
All right, you guys, I love you all. Ellen, you got more work this week? You gotta work this week?
Yep.
I gotta make TikToks.
Working through, almost making it to that weekend, right, guys? If you're listening to this on a Wednesday.
Yes, we're almost there. Wednesday, hump day, baby. Yeah. Hump day. Remember I asked if I could say hump day in HQ once? I was like, am I allowed to say hump day? And they were like, maybe not. And then I heard Sharon do it, and I was like, fuck it, I'm saying it. Sharon says it. Did they not notice? Because she has
Sharon's
an accent?
always breaking those boundaries.
You know what? Or she's just setting the path for all of us. It is, she's a queen. We should have Sharon back on the pod. I feel like we should have a catch up.
Absolutely, yeah.
That would be fun. All right, cool. Well, I got to go back to work, which is making TikToks. It's become my full-time job this month. You know that. Guys, follow me there. But also follow the podcast. Follow us on social media. If you have so many ways to contact us, if there's something you want to say anonymously or not, all you have to do is send a DM on Twitter to Unemployed Podcast, or send it on Instagram, or you can email us at theunemployedteam@gmail.com. Or, Ellen, you give them our phone number. 929. Right. I'm going to memorize it.
Have you memorized it yet?
Nope. Definitely not.
Here comes 929-274-4837.
Call for a good time. I can't memorize numbers. I panic when Jared's like, do you know my number? And I'm like,
I don't even know Dan's number. No.
There you go.
It's not.
There you go. Phone numbers are of the past. All right. That's it, guys. Go rate and review and follow Maddy. She's so funny. You're going to love her stuff. Bye. Right now, I just want to take a moment to thank everybody who has supported our Patreon. This is your shout out right here from me. Tons of love. And if you haven't checked out our Patreon, all of our videos go up there. Sometimes I just write fun things because I feel like it. And it's just a really nice way to support us at Unemployed, and, so we can keep this thing going. We do it for nothing. We do it for fun. We do it for you to listen to. So definitely check out the Patreon. And right now, huge shout out to our patrons, Bill Horton, Chi of Steele, Danielle McCartney, Lori Jackson, Jeannie Logan. We got Joe Galati, Chris Arneson, Jordan Lucero, Oscar Yuen, Ken Levin, and Vic Terry. Thank you so much. You have no idea how much it means to us, and I appreciate you, and I see you, and I love you.